Hey everyone, welcome back to WrestlePop.
Alright guys, Freddie Prinze Jr., the Hollywood actor, recently did an interview talking about his time on the WWE.
So if you guys don't remember Freddie Prinze Jr., he's an actor. His dad was an actor back, I believe, in the 70s and 80s. So he loved wrestling, guys, so much. He actually quit acting to be a writer for the WWE. He actually worked for them for, I believe, 2 times in the 2000s. And guys, he loved wrestling so much, he actually didn't get paid in a paycheck, but more in stock. That's how much he loved wrestling.
So he said that he loved his time there, that everything was going great. He just was so immersed in it. He just loved working there because he had such a passion for wrestling. But the one thing that made him quit happened very, very suddenly, and he quit on the spot as soon as he heard it. And you're like, wow, this has got to be something really like kind of bizarre and like intense, right?
Yeah, Vince McMahon probably did something to piss him off.
Yeah.
And he was like, F you, I'm quitting. But no.
Get this, guys. He said that he was backstage listening to them tape an episode of Tough Enough with Steve Austin, and he heard one of the female wrestlers that was in the competition say that she was doing this for her kids. And Steve Austin said, hey, you know what? That's because do you know how many times I've won Father of the Year while I've been doing this job? And he held up a 0 and said, none. I've never done it. And Freddie Prinze Jr. heard that, and he thought, oh my gosh, I want to be Father of the Year to my kids. I don't want to be missing out on that time with them. So he immediately took his little butt over to gorilla position and said, Vince, I'm quitting. I'm done with it. And Vince said, leave me alone, kid. Just talk to me afterward. I don't have time for this right now. And then of course, afterward, Vince got himself out of there, peaced out, got on the plane, and made Stephanie deal with it.
So guys, this is pretty funny because Vince McMahon, he just dipped out and let Stephanie McMahon deal with it. And unfortunately, Stephanie was like unable to convince him to stay. She even said, you're going to be the head writer for SmackDown. That was our long-term plans. But he was like, you know what? I got to go. Because guys, if you don't know, this guy is married to Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy. She's freaking hot. So I totally understand why he quit. Because, man, if I'm married to her, yeah, I'm quitting.
Well, and it must be working for them because they are one of the longest running marriages in Hollywood, especially for like young Hollywood. So whatever he did is working. But also what's very interesting is that he talked about his relationship with Triple H and how he sees the company going in the future.
So guys, when you think of Vince McMahon retiring, everyone is talking about, oh yeah, Triple H is going to take over. He's going to save the company. But it turns out Freddie Prinze Jr. and Triple H, they did not get along.
Yeah, they kind of butted heads on every single idea, he said. And he said that obviously Triple H's ideas pretty much ended up winning out every time. You know, I'm pretty sure it was like measuring contest, and of course Triple H came up ahead.
Plus, it's, you know, it helps that he's married to
Exactly.
Stephanie McMahon.
Exactly. But he said even though they disagreed on a lot of things, he still understood why Triple H's ideas did win out, because in the end, they were the ones that were going to make the most sense for the company. And they had a mutual respect for each other, even if they didn't always see eye to eye.
So this guy, he got paid in stock, and guess what, guys? Last year, he actually held on to all his stock. And so last year, when Vince McMahon was selling his stock, when the stock was at an all-time high, he actually sold all his stock. He made a lot of money. And also, guys, he was asked, well, you know, do you think when Triple H takes over, everything's going to work out? Now, the answer to that was pretty interesting, because now he thinks if Vince sells out to like Disney or Fox or something, it's not going to work out, which I agree with him. The McMahons have to own the company because they know wrestling. They know how to make this work. But I will say this, if Triple H takes over, because, you know, the fans are like, man, wrestling is not like doing all that good and all that kind of stuff. And you want it to be more like the Attitude Era. Guys, the Attitude Era was not wrestling. And I feel like if Triple H takes over, we're going to see more wrestling, like 15-minute wrestling matches and things like that, which, you know, it's cool for the hardcore wrestling fans, but I think the casual viewer, we don't really like that. We want like goofy storylines. We want like, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin driving a beer truck to the ring and like spraying like the wrestlers, or, you know what I mean? We want the Mae Young kind of storylines.
Yeah.
That's what's going to bring in like a broader audience.
Because they always say that it's sports entertainment. Well, the casual viewer, I feel like, wants less sports, more entertainment.
100%. We don't really care about like, you know, what's going on in the matches. Because nobody looks back and goes, man, I remember that match in '97. other than like the hardcore fans. The rest of us, we remember Stone Cold on like the Zamboni and things like that. That's the kind of stuff that we remember. So if Triple H does take over, hopefully he's gonna remember, you know, give the casual fan what he wants.
All right, guys, that's the video. If you like what we're doing here, definitely check out our other channel, 5 Minute Eats, and don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.